I saw lots of folks from all over the world. Someone's in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's been coming up. Fort Collins, Spring Hill, Florida, Victoria, Canada, Kansas City. Anyone overseas here? We got Ohio, Portland. Some mentions of the Ukraine, Texas, West Virginia, Hawaii, Barcelona. There we go. Someone's up late, maybe. Not too bad. Phoenix, Florida, Michigan. Anyone else overseas? Michigan. Yeah, this is from a local company called Rockmount. They're an old cowboy shop. They invented the snap button, which I'm not making adequate use of, and the bolo tie. They're old school cowboy shop in downtown Denver. If you're ever there, support them. Support local. All right. So let's begin by taking your best posture of the day, of the week. It's Friday. Happy Friday. India. All right. We got a few Indias. Ireland. Nice. Let's take a great posture. And then breathe deeply into that posture. Really deeply. And then relax that posture. Again, let's take a great posture. And you can move your shoulders around as I'm doing if you just woke up. Or if your back is tight like mine is. And then relax that posture. All right, take a great posture, eyes open, looking at everyone here with respect and friendliness and curiosity. And with daring to pause, daring to calm down and breathe, let's give it away with a bow. Okay, if the sunshine on me is bothering anyone, feel free to mention that and I can close the curtain, but I'm enjoying the beautiful sunshine. I don't know if you can see this. Can anyone see the mountains out there? I don't know if they're visible. But they're gorgeous this morning. Anyone see that? So the title of this is How to Cut Through the BS and Find Your Voice in 1 hour. No pressure on me. So the good news is most of you have found your voice already. All of you have found your voice at various times in your life. The confusion can be what among the many feelings and expressions within you is your true and genuine, most relaxed and powerful voice, right? Our voice is something that comes from our heart, from our soul, from our nature. We don't need to get too philosophical about it, but when we own it, when we speak it, when we feel it, it feels true. And at the same time that it feels true, it feels relaxing. Thank you. Michelle's bringing me hot water and distracting me. Get out of here. So, why do we even care about our voice? Because as we're seeing, are any folks reading about the Ukraine, reading about voting rights, reading about abortion rights, reading about, maybe articles on Elephant talking about relationships or being present or being empathetic? There's a lot going on in this world, good and bad, that matters. Any replies there? Iggy, yes. Anyone else? Focused on the world, focused on growing as a human being on the path of Dharma, whether or not it's Buddha Dharma, just the path of truth, of waking up. There's a lot of noise in the world. There's a lot of people say, oh, you should turn off the news. You should ignore social media. That's the problem. Sadly, it's worse than that. There's more noise that goes beyond social media. Anyone here alive and well in the 90s? We didn't have social media, but we still had most of that noise. So Noise is a really uncaring, unempathetic term for what's going on in the world and in ourselves, in our society. Noise is a way to distance ourselves and say it's all bad, right? Yeah, as Gail says, there's more fake information, more fake news, a lot of lying, a lot of partisan kind of point scoring, you know? If any of this doesn't make sense, please ask a question or comment, okay? Danae, hello. Janet, hello. So I want to invite all of us in, if we're interested in cutting through the BS, but still being active and still being helpful to ourselves and to others and to this world, to raise your hand, to say, hi. So we want to cut through the BS. We want to cut through the noise, but we still want to be awake and available and caring to this world. So we don't just want to reject all the BS and, move into a cabin in Vermont, which sounds good to me sometimes. But ultimately, we have to be warriors, peaceful warriors around love, which, as Martin Luther King Jr. reminded us, is an active kind of love. True love is active. True love can never be passive. Why? Because if you love and you care about something and you see something going wrong, you have to help. You have to. It's a command. In Buddhism, we call command ka. So Ka. So you have to help. You don't have a choice. Good trouble. Exactly like Congressman John Lewis, an activist, John Lewis. So if we're all united in wanting to cut through the BS and find our voice in now 51 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Rights of equity and equality around trans issues, many other issues. They're all very simple. From a Buddhist point of view, equality is just the starting ground, right? We can do better than equality. We can do equity. We can do justice. If we're all based on having Buddha nature, then this whole discrimination thing is just a distraction, a waste of energy. Gail. So, first of all, to find our voice, we need to reject a lot of the social media noise. And I encourage you to, after this session, to delete several apps on your phone, to really look at the time you spend on Instagram, on Reddit, on whatever it is. Unless it's good quality journalism, to really pare down the time, the investment of energy that you spend watching crappy stuff on Netflix or social media or whatever it is. I got my phone use down from 4.5 hours to an hour and a half a day. And I'm someone who works in social media and media. So put those limits on your phone. Have your phone automatically turn all that stuff off at 7 every night, all that kind of thing. So this can't just be philosophical. We actually have to take steps to change and save our time in our lives so that we can be available to ourselves and our loved ones and others. Then beyond social media, a lot of us like to blame social media, but social media is mostly a manifestation of where we're putting our energy, as well as the profit-seeking motives of the big tech companies that own social media. So a lot of people say, oh, social media is just, human beings being nasty or whatever. But the fact is, social media's rules are set up by those who own it. And you have to be cynical about that. That's why something like Elephant matters. If you don't subscribe to Elephant, please do. We're independent media, meaning no one tells us what to do in terms of profits. The only goal we have is mission, which is to be of benefit. Do we accomplish that always? No. But please subscribe, elephantjournal.com/subscribe if you don't. And you can write, you can read, you can get our app on the iPhone, etc. You can get our free daily newsletter. We can put some links in for all that. If you don't, please do. In other words, the story of the two wolves. The wolf that wins is the wolf that you put more energy into. So put your energy into quality journalism, independent community and media. In terms of the noise of the world, like Ukraine, the awful and beautiful and powerful noise that's going on in Ukraine right now. I spent hours watching videos yesterday and blogging those up. Maybe we can I'll just do it. Let's use it quicker. So I put 3 articles up on the Ukraine yesterday that are incredibly moving and powerful videos and stories. If you haven't tuned in, please do. I mean, we are seeing history happen. At the same time, a lot of us get involved, whether it's LGBTQ or Ukraine or abortion rights or there's so many voting rights where democracy is literally at stake. So many of us get involved in important issues, but then we lose our voice in getting involved in those issues. We become so consumed with the things we care about and love that we can lose years of our life not being able to move that issue. Meaning, and I do this with Elephant, we work and we work and we work, and yet things don't improve. On some level, I want to say thank you to all of you who do that kind of work. But on another level, we have to take a step back. We have to say, how can I actually move the needle on these issues? Any of you, Fadi, can write on Elephant, and we do pay top writers as chosen by readers and editors every week in the ecosystem. We can put that link in there. So we have to, cut through the BS noise of social media. We have to cut through the BS noise of the things we love. And that one's even more subtle and harder. We have to be willing to take a step back and say, how can I actually help? Activism is exhausting. Exactly. So I wrote an article about that. It's called, and it pissed a lot of people off, but it's from a Buddhist point of view. And it says, compassion fatigue, it's not a thing. So compassion fatigue, of course, is a thing, as the article immediately says. But if it is a thing, then we need to take a step back, because genuine love expresses itself naturally through empathy, the world's most powerful and transformative and actually healthy emotion. Genuine empathy is actually healthy and relieving. And that's the voice we're talking about. That when we find a way to operate out of our voice, out of our heart, out of our bodhicitta, the seed of awakening or Buddha nature, it's actually not exhausting. And that's a profound notion. So if we find ourselves becoming exhausted by our compassion, we need to take a step back, lest we burn out. You can read more about it in that article. If you open any articles or links, please just come back to them later. Don't get too distracted. We only have 45 minutes to cut through the BS and find our voice. So are we on the same page? We take a step back from the things we love. You don't have to do it for years, just for 45 minutes. We take a step back from the noise and the busyness. Busyness is laziness. One of my favorite articles on Elephant ever. Are folks on the same page here? Are we willing to do that? Just for 45 minutes, we'll take a step back and we'll do a few exercises to help find our voice. So we can lose ourselves to the things we love, though we want to come back to those. And we can lose ourselves in the noise and busyness of the world. We can lose years and years and years. We can lose our entire lives to the noise of the world, social media, Netflix stuff. Some of them are ways to cope with our exhaustion, right? Like watching a movie at the end of the day. And nothing is wrong with this stuff, but we can still lose years of our life. And we can lose our voice. We can lose ourselves. And then the things we love, that one's harder. But we have to be willing to take a step back and then reapproach in a more helpful way, right? It's like A lot of you are probably parents. If you're going after your kid, trying to get them to do something good, and they're not responding, we have to take a step back and try again in a different way. As Emily Dickinson said, the truth, but slantwise, something like that. Emily probably knows that quote. All right, we have 7 yeses out of 478 folks. So low percentage. Yes, no, there's a few yeses above. Are folks feeling this, or am I losing people? If I'm losing you, feel free to speak up. Any comments or questions? We can bring folks on camera. Any comments or questions before we move forward? Jocelyn, wonderful. Yeah, this one's live. This is live. You're participating. You are not watching. You are part of this. Okay. So that's a good bow, Shelby. Love that. Too much of a good thing can be wonderful. Mae West. So how do we come back to our voice? Now, coming back to our voice isn't going to be, 41 minutes of writing exercises or something. Coming back to our voice and finding our voice and using our voice and owning our voice to be of benefit, That's our mission at Elephant. May it be of benefit. This takes a lot of work, and it's really, it's fun work. It's good work. It's good trouble. It takes meditation. So we have a meditation course in Elephant Academy. If you want to make meditation part of your daily life, to be grounded, to be sane, to be joyful, to be empathetic, to be available to your life and world, do that meditation course. I think it's super cheap. It's simple. There's also many meditation articles and videos on our YouTube channel and on our website. The meditation course is the not full path, but it's a complete path. Beautiful. Dandelion. Love that. Maintaining my own ability to have gratitude and joy is paramount for resiliency in my work. It's paramount to show up whole and solid. The good news is that can flow naturally again. So maybe read that compassion fatigue article. So do we have that meditation course link? Assuming we put that in the sidebar. We'll move forward. Okay, we'll include it in the email follow-up. We don't want to put it in here. It's somewhere on elephantjournal.com/academy. Okay, I'm going to make sure we covered the whole agenda here. So I guess the noise I haven't addressed is our inner noise, our fear, our uncertainty, our insecurity, our doubt, that inner noise. So that's where meditation is so vital. Without meditation, we don't have a ground of sanity and of awake and of openness. Meditation is simply bringing us back again and again to what is. It's like we're all in a CGI world, the metaverse or something. We're all in the CGI world. I just watched this movie that was heavily CGI'd last night, and it seems real, but it also seems fake, and it's a little bit claustrophobic. It was so nice to stop watching that movie and just look outside and see the moon and the clouds and, open the door so I could actually look at it, even though it's snowy, and just appreciate reality. That's what meditation does for us. Reality is refreshing and grounding. So, and it takes us away from the distraction noise, from the love noise, and from the inner noise. The voice inside of us is not just a voice, it's a karma compost of karma, right? What do I mean by that? It takes in your experience and it works on it. CGI is like effects, kind of illustrative effects in movies where they can fake stuff. They can fake effects. So finding your voice is not just an expression. It's a powerful thing that can transform your experience into wisdom. Experience, wisdom. Experience, wisdom. Experience, good, bad, happy, sad, confused, whatever, into wisdom. So yeah, you take all your banana peels and your whatever, you take all the plastic labels off, you put it in your compost, and your voice will take that compost with sun and air and time and turn it into wisdom, into good earth that you can farm with or plant with, grow things with, live with. So I love to use the word catharsis because that's what it is. It takes one thing and it turns it into another. Not because that first thing is bad, but because that first thing is the ground, the fertilizer for wisdom. So our neurosis, our confusion, our ups and our downs, our experience is the fuel or the ground for our insight, our wisdom. And the best news of all is our insight or wisdom is of benefit to others. So this isn't just about us. I like to say self-help is bad for you. This isn't just about us, right? This is about being available and helpful to others. So there's an expression in Buddhism that is something like, if you want to be happy, think first of others. If you want to be happy, think first of others. If you want to be unhappy, think only of yourself. So, first of all, let's do a quick writing exercise. We don't have to rush, but a quick writing exercise. We'll write it in the comment section right here. And these are all things that we will practice in more depth, and we'll connect all the dots in Elephant Academy. That's the green button is here. Elephant Academy is our biggest and most popular course. I think it's $1,000. 100+ people do it I think we do it 3 or 4 times a year. And our biggest discount is available in that green button because you came to this. So if you sign up for that, you can do that. If you want to do a payment plan, it's full price, but you can pay gradually. So either way, and remember, the money is going to a good thing. It's going to staff. It's going to Molly. It's going to Emily. It's going to, we have 28 something staff at Elephant. No one's getting super rich off Elephant, sadly, but we do like to pay people well and well enough that they can stick around and be helpful and do a job that they love and care about. So our first writing exercise is going to be about the difference between our voice and emotionalism. So let's write about something difficult or challenging in our life in the past week, past 7 days. Write about a moment that was difficult or challenging. Doesn't have to be an awful experience, just difficult or challenging. It can be awful, can actually be really good. Whatever it is, difficult or challenging, just write about it as specifically as possible. I want to mention that word 5 times. If everyone can write the word specific in the comments right now, just so you've committed to that. We don't want a philosophical treatise on your experience. We want specifics. It can have dialogue. It can have names. You don't need to out people with their last names, but it needs to be specific. It needs to be the details of what you saw, feel, felt, the colors, where you were, specifics. So why specific? Because specificity helps us get to our experience and our experience helps us get to our voice. So we're going to do this only for 3 minutes, but that's a long time. So I'll remind you of each minute when it goes by. So we have 3 minutes. Write about a challenging or difficult experience, and then I'll go through some that captured it with all of us and some that didn't. All right, go. You can write them in the comments. If you don't want to share it publicly, then find something that you can share publicly. Okay, we have 1 more minute. So I'm reading all of these. I'm still looking for one that's very specific. A lot of us, understandably, we don't want to overshare or share something private. There's a lot of real experiences here, though. A lot of power in these experiences. Stacy, my heart fell to my feet when my 19-year-old son texted me to say he has found a lump on his left testicle. My brother died from testicular cancer 40 years ago. So in just 2 sentences, there's a lot of specificity there, and there's a lot of power there. So it's difficult to be super specific in a short, writing exercise. So if you're done writing, let's be done. Let's all come back together. I'm seeing a lot of observations of experience, but not a lot of specific descriptions. We have to be humble enough to get super specific. A lot of like philosophy and sort of broader context, but not a lot of specificity so far. Okay, here we are. Terry, my client had lost her mind, her arms flailing, unable to stop moving, trying to get out of bed, but I wouldn't let her. She could no longer speak or understand. She stuck one leg out, I blocked it. She stuck her other leg out, I blocked it. She waved her hands and moved around restless. I knew this was beyond my ability to manage. I called hospice. Some real specifics there. Colorado State was whooping up on Michigan in the first game of the NCAA March Madness tournament. Sounds very specific, joyful. It would be nice to have the specifics of, is it on TV? Are you there live? I'm assuming TV. If TV, what's the couch, the table, popcorn, what's going on? What's the room like? Across our shared desk, okay, there's some more detail. I can see the hurt behind my husband's eyes, wishing our son was here to share in these moments of excitement as he had in the prior 8 years. It's another instance of palpable knowing that he's gone forever. Okay, amazing. Janice, my front porch faces east and there's an empty lot across the street. This provides me great views of the sky from sun to moonrises. Pretty general, but in the realm of specificity. I often take pictures of my awesome view. Recently, a big red semi-truck, getting more specific, parked on the lot, and without the owner's permission. This big red semi is very frustrating because it is infringing on my view and photobombing so many of my pictures. I love that. Gets pretty specific. Okay, Jocelyn, 6:45. I looked into my daughter's room and saw the outline of her under the gray floral bedspread. Gray floral bedspread. She hasn't gotten up yet. I sigh. Amelia, I said, you need to get up. I know, she said. Well, then you got to get up. I said, okay, she said. The dog jumped off the bed and joined me in the hall, waiting to go outside and have her breakfast. She followed me down the hall. I knew her tail was wagging because it thumped on the wall as we walked. It thumped on the wall as we walked. It's great. I won't read the rest since most of these are short. I love this. Tara or Tara. I saw them through the lens of Instagram of all things, enjoying a trip. Costa Rica looked so fun and beautiful with its beaches and sand and cabanas. It was one more trip to which I was not invited, but why would they invite me? I do not qualify to be included. While that's not specific, it is a very specific feeling. The sting of jealousy and exclusion hits me hard. I thought I was over this bullshit. Why do I feel like a middle schooler being left out of the in crowd? I'm 50 years old, for fuck's sake. I know why. I never felt worthy. And this is my reminder of being poor and unworthy. Tara or Tara, I gotta say, maitri, maitri, maitri. Okay, so I probably read enough. Here's maybe one more. Suzanne, Monday was rough. My mom broke my heart with word that her cancer is back. So all I wanted to do was at least meditate to try to calm myself. I would get settled in my chair, describe the chair. I would turn on the app I used to start, describe the app. I would close my eyes and boom, a knock on the door. My neighbor needed my help with her kids. Okay, I help her move on and set myself up again. She knocks again. This happened 4 times in a row. My heart raced all day with the stress. Maitri, maitri, maitri. Yeah, 500 words is the limit. Okay, folks. Well, what did we learn here? Any observations what we learned? What I see in most of what we wrote, including what I wrote, is a lack of specificity. We like to describe general feelings, but feelings are not specifics. Once in a while in that one, the feelings of jealousy or sting of being left out was written very specifically. But are we willing to write about specifics without putting the overlay of our judgment or prejudgment or feeling on them? That overlay is valid, but first we need to get down to specifics, because that's the path to direct experience, and our voice rises out of direct experience, not out of those secondary observations. Why is that important? Because when we can ground ourselves in specifics and in our voice, we can directly access that catharsis, that ability to turn all of these powerful things that folks are writing about here in this community, in this group, in this hour, into relief, into wisdom. And remember, it's not just turning into wisdom, it's turning into wisdom that inspires others. Who here wants to write from your voice in a way that not only helps yourself and relieves yourself of the stress, but helps and inspires others? Anyone? So we go into more depth about that because it is hard. We have a lifetime of momentum, a lifetime of training to be caught up in our thoughts about our life instead of just directly experiencing our life. And so meditation is part of that. Maitri is part of that path. Meditation is part of that path. Maitri is part of that path. Direct writing exercises are part of that path. And a supportive community are part of that path. That's what we've created with Elephant Academy. So if you find yourself wanting to do more of that, join us. This isn't some sort of weird sales pitch. This is what we do. This is what we offer. This is our path to be of benefit and to have fun doing so. It's the best and most fun and most powerful thing we get to do. But we're going to do more here. We have 20 minutes. So exercise number 2. So exercise number 2 is going to be, since most of us honestly failed, and failing is part of the path. Remember, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, if not the greatest, said that failing was his path to success. He was willing to fail, and then he would succeed. So most of us failed to be super specific, to be super grounded, right? That's okay. Again, we have a lifetime of training to be caught up in our thoughts about our life instead of our life. So we're going to do a much simpler writing exercise around specificity. So again, let's write the word specific if you're willing to try again, or maybe write try again or specific. And then our second writing exercise will be about the room that we are in right now. And you're not going to write about your thoughts about the room, your emotions around the room. Just describe the room. Or if there's too much going on in the room, describe one specific aspect of the room, the view out the window, the wall, the frame pictures, the plants, whatever it is. So we are going to write only for a couple minutes this time. Keep it short. We're going to write about the room we're in. Are folks in? You can write height, you can write specific, or try again. All right, let's go. Is the assignment clear? Any questions? Let's go. Okay, let's wrap it up. Let's really wrap it up. Don't distract yourself further. We only have a couple minutes left. I'll read a couple. I'll try to highlight ones that are helpful in good or bad ways. Okay. A lot of feelings about what we're seeing or feeling. Try to stick with just description. So hard for us to be simple. Haven't read a single one that's just simplicity. Cecile, animated fireworks burst on and off the 65-inch TV. The rainbow colors contrast the black screensaver and the beige wall behind it. I'll read mine. Maybe it'll be helpful. Kerouac, in an old black and white black frame poster on the wall, stares at me. The wall is white beadboard. Above, two colorful, simple vintage prints by Maud Lewis depicting her country life. Maple syrup on a sleigh, pulled by bell-wearing cows, snow, a dog, her husband, a house or three. A Mahakala mask glaring down at me. Trunk Brimshay in one of my favorite photos beneath a basketball hoop and grand painting of a European castle overlooking a lake sits ready to lecture. Robin Hood in an old French poster shoots an arrow to my left. Big potted plants on little wooden stools. A stained glass window or two, bright and light. A pink and natural cloth hangs over the TV. Statues, small yet intricate, of animals. My dog Pumpkin. A big old red Persian wool rug. A white power cord from Conway, the wall. So all of that is a description of one wall, one part of a wall. And yet I still could have written more. And all of it was specific, and none of it was my feelings about it, I guess, except for one of my favorite photos. And yet hopefully it conveyed a real feeling. Did anyone was anyone listening, or are we all still caught up in writing? Did anyone get a real feeling for this wall, for what it looks like, but also what it feels like to look at it? Did anyone get something from what I wrote? I'm not saying what I wrote is profound or great writing, but it wasn't even that specific. It was quite short. Looking at this wall, there's much more I could have written to describe each piece. Yeah. So that's what good writing does. It not only puts you in a place where you can see it, but you can feel what you're seeing in the way that the writer is feeling what they are seeing. But we don't tell them what we are feeling necessarily. We kind of show them. And that can be much more powerful because it's immediate. Instead of getting this sort of CGI fake reality, we're getting the direct reality, the direct experience. And when we take that specificity, which is humble, it takes humility to be that specific, because you're leaving aside all of your thoughts about the thing. This is meditation in action. This is meditation in writing. And when we meditate, we think of meditation as getting calm, being peaceful, all that. Meditation is much more than that. Meditation is transforming, composting your karma. It's taking the fertilizer of your neurosis and your experience and turning it into wisdom that helps other. Yeah, love that. Yonda, love that. So this is a final plug to, if you want to go further in this path, much further, and have joy, mentors, community, joy with community and mentors, and really dig down until you get to your voice, and then you own it so that you can, even if you lose your voice from time to time, which is natural in your life, you'll know how to find that voice, how to access it, and what it is. You'll know how to identify it in this world with all this social media noise, with this love noise, and with this inner noise. And we'll practice meditation and maitri together. The biggest discount you'll find is right there. It is an investment, not only of money, but of time. And we keep it affordable for a reason so that folks can do it, but we also don't want to make it free or too cheap, because this needs to be a commitment. As I like to say in some of our marketing, you can't make a change in your life unless you're willing to make a change in your life. You have to make a commitment of time and energy. All the info is in that green button in terms of the schedule. Has anyone here done Elephant Academy? Want to speak up for, did you get something out of it, or was it absolute crap or a waste of time? So Terry, that's completely understandable. And that's where meditation can help you, not only with sort of concentration, but with being able to fully feel and experience what is with you all the time anyway, and then be willing to kind of unpack that and open it up so that you can be available to your life fully without being caught up in it, without overlooking it or ignoring it, but in a way where you can cope fully, but also feel fully. I know that's a mouthful, but obviously the solution is not to ignore it. The solution is not to get fully caught up in it. The solution is to feel it, experience it fully and genuinely, and come back to yourself and your life. So yeah, I'm not sure of the schedule, but go to the green button. Danae did it. If you've done the Academy before, you have all kinds of big discounts anyway to anything else. If you'd like to write on Elephant, yeah, that's easy, elephantjournal.com/post. I want to see if I can read one more description. So, Jonda, I don't think I read yours. Purple glittering dots reflect off the TV stand glass. Dust and records near a turquoise Buddha. On the fossilized piece of wood, that's where Buddha sits. Beneath the cypress and behind the climbing spider plant. Here in the living room, the music room, the art room, there are tiny wooden sailors that hold their ships, the speakers up. And in the stillness of specifics, I see more ways to love. That's more of an observation. So we don't even observe about the specifics. Commit to it. Lisa, room lit by 2 windows directly to my right. Beyond that, the walls are hidden with piles upon piles of stuff. Describe some of the stuff. Paint cans, good. From the closet project redo, I have started. Backdrops and blankets. Speakers stacked, rejected from use upstairs. Under it all, a gray sectional. One we replaced as our family grew smaller and older. Eventually is what I think when I look around. The projects that will eventually get done and the couch we will eventually be able to sit on. It's pretty good. The end gets a little bit observation-y, but it's still around the specifics. I am on the top floor, Peggy. What I see through my window is half brick apartment building, half pale blue hazy sky. So to wrap this up, and I won't read anymore, but there's a lot of good ones I'm sure there. And we write not just to be read, we write to fully experience what we are seeing or feeling or experiencing, and to transform our own experience. So I want to just wrap it up by remembering that there's a lot of noise. So after this, take steps on your phone, on your remote, whatever you're doing, to put a little bit of healthy, fun discipline into your life. So you're not getting caught up in unhelpful kind of energy vampire situations with your social media, with your TV, whatever it is. Try to put some guardrails of kindness to yourself and kindness to others around your life. Jan, thank you for joining as always, and enjoy dancing. Let's all leave together. However, we're going to leave in 4 minutes. Folks, let's begin together, end together. That's in Buddhism, that's considered very important, whether it's a meal, a meeting, or in this case, a gathering. Observation is there's a distance, a separation between self and other. So in Buddhism, they say ego is defined very simply. It's not a bad thing, bad with a capital B. Ego is more like a mistake. Ego is separating self and other. So ultimately, yes, I am a human being. I am Waylon. I have this shirt. There are specifics about me that are different from you. Acknowledging those differences is not an issue. That's a beautiful thing for all of us. But fundamentally, we are all interconnected, interdependent. This isn't just some philosophy. We're all made out of atoms. We're all eating food and pooping and communicating and traveling and working and loving and losing and failing and winning. We're all going through this experience called living. And ultimately, we have to understand that we are part of something greater than ourselves. But even in our loneliness and separation, we are connected in that experience to one another. Because, you know, I read some Kerouac book when I was a kid. It was the first time I realized that other people felt exactly what I feel. Maybe it wasn't the first time, but it was the first time through writing. And it felt magical to realize that other people have that first love experience. So that's the power of writing, to connect our experience with others and be of benefit. I hope this isn't just a lot of noise coming out of my mouth. A lot of kind comments here. Love and gratitude. Got a lot from this short session. Exercises were helpful. It's a discipline, so try again and again, whether you join us or not. Beneficial, enjoy and be of benefit. Love and thanks to all at Elephant. Yeah, you can access the Elephant Academy lessons after the course. Forever is what we've always allowed. I'm moving to make it a year so that folks actually kind of have an incentive to actually finish them. Yeah, Danae, I found it super valuable, Elephant Academy. So remember, once that green button is gone, it's gone. You won't get that discount again. So if you are interested, click that. Luann, love to you and your family from all of us. Luann lost her child recently and wrote about that on Elephant. Maybe we could put that article link in here if folks want to read. But Luann, from all of us, big love and big hugs to you and your heart and your husband's heart. If anyone wants to write love to Luann, please do. Any other comments? Yeah, you can email academy@elephantjournal.com. All right, folks. Let's take a good posture. Michelle, big love to you. Please stay safe. Colleen, thank you. Yeah, let's give some love to Luann here. Let's hold this for a moment. Her article link is in the sidebar now. All right, let's take a good posture, and with respect and friendliness, let's offer a bow to one another and all of our experiences, good and bad. Good luck, jolly good luck, sweethearts. And I hope to see you in Elephant Academy. We can keep this open for comments for a moment. Again, click that green button if you are curious about joining us, and please do. It's a worthwhile thing, and we want to feed worthwhile things both for ourselves and for the world. When you join the Academy, Jan has done it many times as a mentor. You're hopefully helping Elephant in our imperfect way to be a benefit to not only ourselves but others. There's Katie, hello. Suzanne, thank you. Deep respect. Vanessa, thank you. Rachel. Okay. Click that green button before it's gone.